Hi guys, so welcome back to my channel. As you already can assume by the title, today I'm going to be talking about my third and final year at university. So today I was just kind of sitting at home thinking about what was I doing this time last year, and it clicked that I was in probably the most grueling and toughest periods of my life, that being going into my final term of university. Story I guess I'm going to tell you of my final year is extremely personal and extremely close to me. I don't share, I guess, much of my personal life with people in my life except for my close friends and family. So I just really hope that me sharing this with you guys today and YouTube and the world, that it will touch one person at least, or two people, or I guess whoever is going through similar things, and just really encourage you and know that you have a light at the end of the tunnel, and that there is hope, and that you will be as proud and as successful in your degree as I was at the end of my degree. So it doesn't matter what life throws at you, and when it throws it at you, you will still overcome it, because at the end of the day you're destined for greatness. Everyone is destined for greatness, and I truly believe in that. So if you continue to believe in that, you're good. So for me personally, I studied law at university. If you follow my channels, you may have already picked that up, as I guess I like to talk about it a lot, but I guess I talk about it because it's tough. It's just, I don't think it's different to any other degree, but the amount of work that you do and the amount of reading that you do and just the amount that is required from you is a lot. So that being said, that was tough and one big thing in my life, just being a law student. I also, at the time of my third year, was a president of a law society that I was secretary of the year before. And then I was also a student caseworker in our law clinic in my university, where that's working with real life human cases. So people have come into the clinic, and it's pro bono work, so they don't have the means to pay for legal representation. So they come in where they're solicitors in the clinic, and students need their cases, and it's just checked over by the solicitors, I guess, in the clinic, but you do all your work by yourself. So you have to advocate on behalf of the client. If you need to go to court or tribunal, you have to do that all by yourself. So that was tough. And then I also worked part-time in car phone warehouse. So I was doing a lot, basically. First and foremost, that being said, I would say the first piece of advice I would give you guys is do not take on more than you think you can handle. And I know there's this point where you're like trying to gauge it and you're trying to think, is that too much? Is that not? Your gut will tell you. Your gut will tell you. And I will tell you now, follow your gut instinct. I say that because when I was elected president, I was proud of myself. I was pleased. I really wanted to make a difference. I really wanted to put all of my effort into really changing the student experience that people were having at my university. So that was my aim. But I have to remember that I came to university to gain a law degree. I didn't come to kind of change the world at that moment in time, even though that is my desire later on in life. So I just needed to find a little bit of chill, which I didn't, and I carried on with everything I was doing. At the exact same time, at the beginning of the year, I set myself personal goals, just following on from the feedback I'd gotten from previous seminar leaders and lecturers and things like that. So I was really gaining the best experience out of this last year of university as I could. So that would be my second piece of advice, is that set goals as early on as possible, because if you have a goal that you are working towards, you will achieve it because you're focused on it. And I know that kind of sounds a bit silly because you're in university, like that is your aim, that is your goal, to finish university. But if you make smaller goals, that brings you closer to your bigger goal. And that's my main piece of advice in regards to hopefully seeing that there's a light at the end of the tunnel and that you're actually working towards that light. The goal that I set was that I wanted to at least get a first class in the whole time I was at university. So that hadn't happened in first and second year. So third year was the time for me to do that. God knows how I thought I was going to do that with all that I was doing, but that was my goal. Having a smaller goal, I was working towards it, and then you start thinking about ways you can improve yourself, the ways you can actually make that goal come to life. And that, I guess, is when I hit my first stumbling block in my third year of university. So again, I guess this is extremely tough for me to be able to say. This is extremely tough to talk about because it was such a devastating time in my life. But in December of my final year of university, I was diagnosed with dyslexia. So yes, it was great being diagnosed, just in period, with dyslexia, because I don't care about whether you have a disability or you have a deformed face. I really don't care. I'm not that type of person. So it was devastating at that time because I couldn't deal with it. It's as simple as that. I couldn't deal with the fact that I had dyslexia and deal with it in a way that will get me the grades and the first class in any piece of coursework that I wanted to, because my main issue was that my writing wasn't up to par. My content of my work was great. My writing wasn't up to the standard of my content. So hearing that in December, just before my birthday, and going, basically I've finished one term out of 2 terms, I was like, what do I do? So I guess that was my first of many breakdowns at university. My third piece of advice would be seek help. It's as simple as that. Talk about your problems, talk to your friends, go to your school, your school of discipline, talk to people about it, because at the end of the day, they're not there. The people in your life and the people at university aren't there for your downfall, they're there for your success. So that was one of the first things I did when I came back to university in January, and I was like trying to deal with it and trying to cope and trying to just do the best I can with this disability, which I don't even see as a disability. I don't see it as anything negative in my life. I don't see it as anything that's going to hold me back from being as successful as I know I'm destined to be. It was never going to be an issue in my life in a major way where I will limit my success based on that. But it was just devastating because I couldn't deal with it then and there to achieve that goal I'd set at the beginning. Spoke to people about it, spoke to my seminar leaders, would go and speak to them, just doing the most I can do so I know that my successes will be my success. It's as simple as that. I don't want it to be because I've had to make they've had to make special allowances for me. I want my success story to be about me. So that was really, really a tough time, and being able to adapt and change and really like try and improve my skill set in a different way to how I'd ever known I needed to. So talk to people about it, because if you talk to people, people can recommend things, people can offer their advice on how they do their work and what ways work for them, and that's what I did. So it wasn't the fix to my problem, but it was a solution at that time, which I was very grateful for. So I just carried on. I just did the best I could. I knew the first, I guess, wasn't in reach, but I knew that when it came to exams, I smacked the hell out of exams. So I can get firsts and 2-1s in exams, which I guess is how I get my grades as well, because I never ever before university had written a piece of coursework for school, because I did all exams in A-levels and all exams in GCSEs. So I was just working with the best I had. It was a bold goal, but it was a goal I set, and I'm glad I worked towards it because it showed me a lot about myself in that time as well, and how I'm not a quitter. These revelations will come when you set goals and you realise that there's things that you are out of your control. Accept them and move on. As simple as that. So moving on with my year, I was still battling obviously the dyslexia, as well as juggling this presidency, as well as studying this law degree, as well as doing this law clinic. Literally, I was doing too much, and by the time I realised I was doing too much, I had to just get on with my exams at this point. So that brings me up to third term, and I am struggling to finish my dissertation, which I never wanted to do a dissertation. I went out of my way to not do a dissertation module, so it wasn't 100% coursework, it was part of the law clinic casework that I did. So I had to do a dissertation on that, and already I'm struggling with my writing. This is a lot of words that I need to do for someone who is being told by people they don't know how to write. So I struggled with that. That weighed so heavy on my heart. I don't think I've been so ugly in my whole entire life, literally, during the period of exams. During my revision period, which is a month at my university, so it may differ for you, but the best way I found that I could cope and really get on with what I was doing is finding an outlet that I really enjoy doing at that time. Find a vice, find a lease, find something you enjoy doing, even if it's something you can do for an hour or you can do for 20 minutes. Just do it in your day, because if you don't have that, all this revision and all this writing that you're doing and dissertation writing, etc., will overwhelm you, because it's not something that people enjoy naturally if you're not one of those people. So for me, I fell in love with makeup, I guess, again. So what I did is that if I wanted to go on a break, I would literally get up and I would do my face makeup. I'm not going anywhere. Nowhere. I would just get up, sit at my mirror, do a face of makeup, completely forget about the revision I was doing, and then get up, go back to my revision and wipe off the makeup later on. It didn't really matter if I was going anywhere, but that was my vice, that was my coping mechanism. So I'd say definitely try and find something along the lines that will give you just a short break. Now going into my exam season, the toughest period so far, the third and final breakdown, I guess this would be, is when it came to exams. I had 3 exams and 1 dissertation to hand in by the time we had gotten back. I didn't do the dissertation, so I got an extension. My exams were 80, 80 and 50%, and then I had the dissertation to do as part of the law clinic. So as you can imagine, I didn't really have the leeway from the coursework because of obviously my feedback that I was getting earlier in the year, but I didn't let that hold me back. I made sure that I just revised as much as I could and I was doing the most that I could. This dissertation nearly killed me. I made sure I went out of my way, but because it was part of the law clinic, it wasn't a dissertation that was by itself as such, but it killed me, literally. I had 3 exams in the space of like 5 days and a dissertation to write. You can do it, honestly. If I can do it, you can do it. I literally cried about 50 times. 50 times. I'm not even exaggerating. I cried about 50 times in the space of 5 days. I didn't sleep in those 5 days. Me and about 4 other people sat in one room, computer room, every day, probably for the last 3 weeks of university. We sat in that room, each of us encouraging each other. Find people who encourage you. Find people who are your biggest supporters. And the funniest thing about it is that these people weren't even my closest friends at the time of university or during my university period. I, of course, knew them because I guess law students like to talk, so we just mingle with each other. But they weren't my best friends, but they were the most supportive people I'd ever been around in my whole entire life. And without them, you guys know who you are. I wouldn't have gotten through that time. So find people who can support you and stick by their sides whilst you're also doing your work, because that will definitely give you the smiles and the giggles and the vice that you may not have found during your revision period. So handed my dissertation after all of that grueling experience, and I finished all my exams. And I could literally cry on my last day. I was so tired, I couldn't sleep. Just the moral of my story is that don't let anyone, again, bring you down. Don't let anything bring you down. Keep your hopes up, keep focused, and motivate yourself to do the best you can do. You know what you're capable of, and everyone is destined for greatness, and I truly believe that. So just keep that in mind, and I'm sure you guys will do amazingly well. Don't let any disability, don't let any seminar leader who tells you you're crap at your writing bring you down. Because at the end of the day, just in my situation, one of my seminar leaders ripped me to shreds in my final year for my syntax, my grammar, my sentence structure. And in that exam, I actually walked out with 80%. And that was the first class I guess I was looking for in my coursework. So God will come through, just not in the way I guess you will see it. So make sure you stay focused and you remain on job. As simple as that. I really wish you the best of luck in all you guys go on to do, but I wish you more than luck. I pray that you guys will do amazingly well at the end of your 3rd year and final year of anything, A-levels, GCSEs, university, because I know you guys have it in you. I hope this gives your little light and your little motivation to just carry on doing what you're doing, and this was your little break, I guess, from revision or university, but I really hope that my story has touched people and it's helped people realise that you're bigger than university, you're bigger than exams, you're bigger than coursework. you're big. If anyone wants to comment below, just sharing their experience or want to message me, please do, because I am here to help people, I guess. That's why I do this YouTube channel, and I do it so sporadically, because I really honestly come on here hoping to change people's perceptions and change people's lives. So more than happy to talk to people about my experience as well if you want to know more. I wish you the best of luck in your exams, and I wish you the best of luck in the last few months, where I hope you'll take this and you'll really start to pull your weight and you will succeed. I, at the end of the day, graduated with a 2-1 in law. Not many people graduate with a 2-1 where they didn't have disabilities or setbacks and drawbacks, but I truly believe that you have to just do you.